Now it's time to move forward to our first fireside chat for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you all the topic. The topic for the moment is animation and its growing influence on young minds. I'll repeat the topic for you all once again. It's animation and its growing influence on young minds. May I please request Siddhartha, Laik, founder and editor-in-chief, IWMBuzz Media Network, to kindly join me over here on stage, please. Give it up for Mr. Siddhartha, Laik, once again, the man who matters. India Kids Summit as a property has grown over the years. This is the 5th season right now, and of course, sir will be able to tell a lot more on that. But I'll request Mr. Rajiv Chilaka, founder and CEO, Greengold Animation, to kindly join us over here as well on stage for the Fireside Chat. Give it up for Mr. Rajiv, please. All of you there at the back, please join and encourage with your appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here at India Kids Summit Season 5. We have been doing this for the last 5 years now. We focus on this genre like no other in terms of ensuring that we talk about the challenges, the opportunities, and also how advertisers can look at investing in this genre more. But we have Rajiv Chilaka sir with us today. He's a doyen in the space. We all know about Chhota Bheem and its impact. Before we begin, can we have the trailer of the upcoming movie, please? Wonderful. A round of applause, please. Yeah, sir. I think it's pretty mesmerizing in terms of the trailer here. So before going into the other aspects of the conversation, sir, since we have already shown the trailer, talk a little bit about Chhota Bheem and the Curse of Damayan, right? I believe it's a theatrical release on 31st of May, if I'm not wrong. It's a national release?
Yeah, so we're releasing across India in Hindi, Tamil, and Telugu, and it's originally shot in Hindi, and it's going to be releasing on 31st of May. So we're pretty excited because it's kind of the first time that an Indian IP is going from animation space to live action space. So fingers crossed. I'm very nervous actually because it is something that we always wanted to do as a company, inspired of course from the likes of Lion King or Jungle Book. You know what Disney has done, bringing those classic animation into the live action space. So pretty excited about it. Let's see how that goes.
So how did the concept eventually kind of came about? Like, Chhota Bheem, its impact, it's on OTT, it's everywhere. It's pretty huge. You have different models of merchandising around it, if I'm not wrong. So how did it come about that we have to do something like this? I mean, the animation, the graphics, it looks like a out and out total entertainment movie. The idea कैसे आया सर कि चलो पिक्चर बनाते हैं?
हाँ जी, so almost like today we just celebrated 16 years of Chhota Bheem.
Wow.
So
Please, yeah.
2008 April 6 Chhota Bheem went on air, and we celebrated 16 years. So during around somewhere when the 14th year, I realized, hey, it's going to be 15 years next year, and we've been doing animation, we've been doing 3D, we have done 2D animated movies, we have done 3D animated movies of Chhota Bheem. But what next? Because it's been a while. Then I felt one of the things was, why not we try to do something like this in live. I think there were a few attempts made, like I think I saw Shaktiman's teaser came out, they were planning to do, and a few people, I think Chacha Chaudhary tried that. I think there was a TV series. So I felt like, why not we try this? And so that was the thought. And then when I get an idea, I'm crazy enough to go ahead and try doing that, and I did that. So the idea came with that, plus just a few months ago we also got awarded well-known trademark award for Chhota Bheem, in the sense it's now officially like, we don't need to fight any copyright issues or anything. So we officially will be automatically winning any battle against anyone who is trying to use this name. So there's only like 170 or 150 brands across India, out of which only like 30 or 40 are actually created and made in India. So Beam has come a long way, and of course, that could not have been possible without support of our partners, formerly Turner, now Warner Brothers Pogo channel. So we're very excited to be in this space today and glad that we're here.
So anything that you mentioned, like Bheem or Chota Bheem, it kind of defines success because whatever you have kind of touched with the IP has turned gold. There's immense opportunity, but anything you mentioned about innovation, maybe after 14 years, is of course challenging because you have set up certain expectations, which is maybe had broken the ceiling. So, what were the challenges in terms of weaving the entire movie experience? क्या challenges थे sir?
Challenges hai abhi bhi the biggest challenge is when you release a film, what happens to the film.
Box office you are talking about?
Yes, absolutely. Because see, today, when you do something like this, is the first time somebody is doing a kids film. So everyone is like, okay, when is the last kids film that has actually come out? That was, I think, Chiller Party somewhere about
Yeah. I
10,
think
12.
Amol Gupta way back.
Yeah. I think there were a few small attempts made. I think at this scale, I think the biggest ever hit in box office is Chota Chetan. I think that came in 1984.
Yes.
Created in India. So there's not much out there in the kid space. So first, it is when we are doing something like this, we need to convince everyone in the sense from today a product cannot be just dependent on theater alone. You are depending on television, then your OTT platform, music rights, then also on box office.
Yeah.
So obviously something like this, no one knows what to expect. So obviously we are not meeting our end. So we're depending on theatrical performance in order to make sure we will make many more of these. So we're at crossroads. We're very nervous. We made a great product. But I don't know what is going to be the result. But
so I think this will be a first twist with the box office experience. Overall ticketing experiences they say have gone down, but you're a strong force in South, and the IP is very strong. You have already a dedicated audience when it comes to the viewers of Chota Bheem. So how are you marketing the movie, sir? I mean, what are the marketing ploys you're using?
So pretty much everything we're doing live events. We're doing events which kind of targeted towards kids, across India. And when you do any event across India, that's quite challenging. That means logistics, cost, everything come in. So we recently did an event example in Varanasi where we had a caravan of Innovas all branded like Chota Bheem and went to visit 4 schools. The movie branding, we did that. Went to 4 schools that day in Varanasi. The team, the cast and crew went there and we showed the trailers in schools. And we saw really fantastic response. And see, one of the targets is easy to reach main cities and all, like Tier 1 cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore. It's easy to reach them. But when you go to Tier 2, no one tries to do anything around that. So Bheem is popular equally in rural as well as
absolutely
as well as cities. So we are doing both. So of course that is live events is one. Then of course YouTube, other platforms, social media, we're using Instagram, we're using to voice out, and of course we are putting out trailer in all theaters. So we had a tie-up with Kung Fu Panda 4 where Chota Bheem's trailer was shown.
Attached to it, okay.
What it was shown there. So there no matter what we do, it's never enough. So fingers crossed. But we're tied up with UFO and Cinepolis. They're going to release the film 31st May. So very excited.
They're distributing it essentially.
Yes.
So I think the trailer looks phenomenal. A little bit nervousness is fine, but I think it's going to do great. And on first, when we talk, of course, we're going to talk great reviews on the box office numbers, sir. And I wish all the success to your movie. I'm sure everyone sitting in the room would wish the same. Now, sir, talking about animation, like you're one of the doyens in this space. You kind of shape the overall contours of the animation industry in India. And thanks for being here, sir. Thanks for supporting this initiative. We have been trying to talk and work together for quite some time, and finally, we chat here. So talk about the animation industry overall in terms of what have you seen over the last decade, the current scenario, and what you see in times to come. There's AI coming in, there's so much innovations coming in. Of course, there are challenges, the overall mergers happening in the buyer market of platforms and broadcasters. In quickly, sir, maybe, sir, if you could figure out like the days 10 years ago and now, and how do you see it shaping up in time to come in terms of anyone who's trying to enter this business, sir?
So for us, it's been 20 years. So we just celebrated 20 years. So it's been a quite a long journey for us in the sense. So we pretty much seen the ups and downs, and the kids business is, of course, the animation space is always got a lot of challenges. And the most important thing is, whenever, I mean, like whether you're doing IP or service, you need to have a hit product. And then, of course, once you have a hit product, then you're evolving around that hit product, in the sense like you mentioned about AI. So we are looking at now technology. So technology wise, so when we started Chota Bheem, that was traditional animation. So we were drawing by hand. Then came in Flash and digitization and stuff. So we were originally scanning the drawings and then doing the thing. And then came Flash, and so directly you're working in the computer. Then there is, of course, 3D versions where you're directly, it's computer generated. And most recently, we also, Unreal, the game engine has come into the space, and it is greatly helping production houses in post-production process, because your rendering is real time now. So if a client asks for a change, you're able to do it, much faster than what it used to be. So technology has come a long way, and AI is coming, and of course, AI shows a lot of promise, but it's still a long way to go, because as studios, we are not able to use the tools effectively yet. So you have to also you have to have your own programmers working on using AI. Example, we are trying to crack, like we have about 100 episodes of Chota Bheem in SD, that is PAL. So 720x76 resolution in 2D. So we're figuring out how we can use AI to convert that into HD, and for today's broadcast. So we're having our own challenges, but yes, we are able to upgrade the quality, but we are not able to change the aspect ratios and stuff. We're able to expand the BG, but we're not able to do. So AI is definitely going to help in creation of, for creators, it's going to be wonderful tool. And there's no doubt that tomorrow, I mean, the next generation of creators and writers, it is going to greatly help them, create wonderful IPs. And that's very important today. I think quality of animation actually never matters. The storytelling always matters. And that is the most important tell. And of course, I think AI can never crack that, in the sense, because it's humans who are going to tell it to the machines what to do it. We need great creative minds, to actually have good storytelling. And today, if you see any successful property, from Doraemon or Ninja Hattori, some Japanese content, Pokemon, to Chota Bheem or Motu Patlu and other shows from India, they're not known for great quality of animation, but it's
storytelling.
Storytelling. So I don't think AI can ever crack that. At least next 5 years. Let's see.
I think it's a progress that we are looking at in terms of the human and the AI interface. The So when you talk about animation, essentially you're targeting an audience which would be kids, and it's a very very sensitive audience that you're targeting. There's immense power in animation. It's captivating. My son watches it kind of all the time. And how do you, when you prepare the content, how do you ensure that what you are displaying or doling out is tick marked in terms of overall, to ensure that it brings a child's growth and it entertains? It's a very fine balance to educate and entertain. So when you talk to your maybe writers or creators, how do you brainstorm around it? Because it's a very sensitive TG that you are catering to, sir.
Yeah, so see, in today's world, so whenever we're creating a new IP, or whether me or the channel or OTT platforms, first thing they do a market research, try to understand what TG requires what. So in in TG wise, you have preschool, you have basically the regular boys and girl, then there is tween audience, and then there is teen audience. So first is basically we target and certain audience. Example, preschool content is very different. Regular boys and girls group, that is 4 to 8, basically the major target, that is very different than tween target, which is like 9 to 12. They're in between, either they're small or older. Then teen content is very different. So it is very, very challenging actually to hold your audience for more than 2 years.
Yeah.
So whatever content we are doing, we have to understand the current mindset of people, and it is very challenging. So like I'll tell you like what we have done this year and what we have done. So we've recently done Mighty Little Beam, a show for Netflix. So it was launched in 2019. That's a global show, preschool show. It went on to do, to our surprise, actually was made for Indian audience, but it went on to do fabulous worldwide, and it went on to be #1 preschool show on Netflix for a couple of years, and is still doing very well. So we did a spin-off from that, Mighty Beam's Playtime, which went on air in January this year. So that went well. And then what we realized was always parents' request is, okay, they want to, and kids also relate to the school environment. So we had through Mighty Beam go to play school, and that went very well for us. Yesterday we launched a show called as Chota Startup, and that is a very unique show.
Chota startup. Okay.
Yeah, so as the name says, startup, it's all about entrepreneurship for children. So like let's say we were children. I mean, the only word of business we knew is a businessman, and business. That's like we didn't even know what's an entrepreneur. But today's kids understand what is an entrepreneur. They understand what's a net worth, which is very surprising. They're watching these YouTube things and they talk about net worth and all these things. They're even watching Shark Tank, and they're very, very evolved children. They're exposed. They're traveling internationally. This in school, they're talking about business. They want to drive the best car. They know which is the best car, or whatever is the most coolest thing. They're aware whether they want to buy it or not.
They're trendy.
They're very trendy. They know who's. I mean, just in the morning I met friends of mine he's taking them to a Taylor Swift concert in Paris, I think. So that's happening. So Taylor Swift is like, such a global star, and all the kids, especially girls across the globe, are huge fans, and they're paying $5,000 a ticket to just go international. It's not like Bombay they're going from Hyderabad to Paris to watch the show, and parents are supporting this. Imagine the exposure that these kids are having. Today's Indian children are having a totally different exposure. So if you give them a regular show, it is really going to be very hard to impress them. So we need to really go a level
Exposure makes them a lot of aspirational in terms of what they want to do in their life.
I think yes. So these kids today, I feel very proud today that Indian kids are rock solid intellectually. The intelligence level, of course, they're smart. They're smarter than a 12-year-old boy is as smart as a 25-year-old boy of that generation today.
Yes.
The side effects also, like they're already dating at 13 years.
Yeah. They mature fast.
Yeah. So I think, we are looking for an amazing period. In terms of your earlier question, how is this animation? This animation is here to stay. It's going to be there forever. The mediums may change. TV was hot, then YouTube was hot, now OTT is hot. Now even there is evolved things. So gaming is becoming storytelling. So when we did a research earlier this year, we found out that today's kids, no matter I'm 4-year-old, is spending the maximum time on playing games like Roblox or Fortnite, or depending on the age. Whereas a year ago or a year and a half ago, it was YouTube. Then 2 years ago, it was television where they were spending a lot more. Even now, they're spending their time on television. They're spending time on YouTube as well as games. But gaming platforms is where they're spending. So how we design content will keep evolving. It's not going to be tomorrow, it's going to change again.
The distribution medium can be new.
Yeah, it's continuously evolving today, So like example.
Maybe animation for 1 minute reels, who knows? Because they're all watching reels or creating content, etc., etc.
Yeah, I think, all the kids at some point want to be YouTuber. Now they want to be a gamer. No, I mean, like it keeps changing till they become 18 or 19. But it is. That's why we made this show called Chota Startup, where basically
Very interesting.
we have kids helping other businesses succeed. So a kid's point of view of seeing how a business is done, or what is a toy factory, how does it work, what is the ideas they can give, or a pizza, they're fascinated how these ice creams are made or chocolates are made or any other thing. So we are trying to have teaching and entertainment, everything mixed. I have no idea if the show is going to do well or not, but I'm thankful to Disney for being open
For
to
being open to ideas.
that kind of an idea, because it's a really evolved idea, and I think the Indian audience is ready for it. That's what.
Absolutely. I know it says 2 minutes, but I have two more questions. So when you talk about IPs and monetization, you have a lot of licensing of the IP that you have, a lot of merchandising. But if you go to, like you mentioned, 2-tier, 3-tier cities, you see Chota Bheem brand is being used maybe randomly or being plagiarized. How do you protect the overall IP and the interest, sir? Because end of the day, you're making business out of it. So piracy is a challenge. Creating brand is challenge. But piracy कैसे deal करते हो, sir?
So yeah, piracy is it's a very tricky thing.
It's piracy of the content and also the brand. आप bags में देखते हो छोटा भीम के photos लगे और बिक रहे मे भी कोई गांव में आपको idea भी नहीं होगा, but that's money lost.
So the first thing is, as a creator, I feel very proud.
Absolutely.
So the real success is when people are using your images in the rural and in small towns or across the globe. That is the real success. So I'm proud.
They say imitation is success. Yeah.
Yeah, and happiness to do that. Yeah. So in the past, when we tried to crack it down, and it's impossible.
It's impossible.
I mean, the Microsoft couldn't succeed.
Yeah.
Disney couldn't succeed. So there's no way that you can crack it, because this is many times what people are doing, they're not aware. They think they can do that. So they're not aware. The awareness
Absolutely.
is not there. So when we see small vendors whose livelihood is on these characters, they're selling, printing t-shirts, selling, and after 6 months, it may be some other character, because that's something, they know what is the most up-to-date things. So I think it works. So their livelihood. If a big company comes and doing that, then we are going to definitely take action. Absolutely. Because they can definitely afford to buy the license. Yeah. Whereas small, we are okay with that. So we have to handle it sensibly when it comes to piracy, what to target and what not to target. Street kids selling balloons, or, those car mein, those things, I think we love to let go, because indirectly it is benefiting the brand, because it is
power of the
seen
brand.
everywhere. And so
I think it's a very rational decision. I mean, I think I'd like to end the conversation by asking, 20 years in business. I know in today's post-COVID times, we can't plan too much in these changing times. Every day something new is coming up. But say 3 years down the line, what would be Greengold's plan, sir?
So as you are aware, so we're trying to become a complete studio. What we've studied across the globe is that not many animation studios across the globe have withstood more than 20 years. Usually, so Hanna-Barbera, one of the biggest animation studios, it created Tom and Jerry and so many wonderful. Today it doesn't exist.
Yes.
They've licensed whatever they created to Warner Brothers and other studios and television partners. Today, Disney Studios animation business is very small compared to the overall global business. So we realize that while animation will continue to be our passion and our happy factor, we will be evolving as a studio. We have gotten into visual effects. We have gotten into live action films. Beam, of course, is our first Bollywood, but we plan to produce more. We have created a physical studio where we have created infrastructure for shooting, for people to shoot sets and stuff.
In Hyderabad.
In Hyderabad. So we have done that because we know that it's just matter of time that everything will be a green screen shoot.
Yeah.
No, I mean, hopefully there will not be all those crazy art days. That thing. So as a studio, we have evolved, and we would like to be a complete studio. we don't want to be opening a channel or an OTT platform because that is something we don't enjoy.
Rather provide content to them.
I think we are happy creating content, and of course, we are hoping for one more successful. I mean, like we have created more than 15 IPs. Chota Bheem is the most popular.
Absolutely.
And everybody still saves my number as Rajiv Chota Bheem. So, so I want to come out of that in the sense we want to create some other IP, hopefully that is doing very well, and we are happy. And Gubbare channel is here. We are working with them for a show. And Vatsal is also been a original voice of Bheem. He's a fabulous child voice artist. If you can just say hi to everyone. That's Vatsal Dubey. His father, Amarkant ji, was the voice director for Chota Bheem. So I feel very proud when I see him because I've seen him since 9-10 years, I think. And 7, when you were 7? Yeah, Krishna. So he was also the voice of Krishna, which we have done. And if you see in Insta, his voice is still there. So that, I mean, his sister also did that voices. So it feels very nice when we see the industry evolve and everything evolves. Today he's basically giving us calls on animation we're doing a show with them, and Neela, the yogi boy. So I feel proud to see the next generation rocking and taking on. So I'm sure there's so much talent in India that we will see some great work coming out of India.
So now that you mentioned, so instead of going on your Instagram, can we see some live? If I give you the mic, maybe a Chota Bheem or a Krishna, please, because that would be a great.
Thank you. So thank you so much, sir, for mentioning that. I'm really feeling honored to be in this presence and attend this summit. And to be associated with Rajiv sir, right now I'm calling him sir. There was a time I used to call him uncle. So
Sir is better.
yeah. So privately, if we meet sir, I'll still call you uncle. It's okay, right?
Anytime.
But yeah, as he mentioned, I was 7 at the time when we did Krishna, and I was, I think, 8 or 9 when we did Bheem. So I don't think I'll be able to match that voice right now.
थोड़ा हो जाए जो भी सर.
Okay. स्पर्धा के नियमों का पालन करना हमारा कर्तव्य है. कृपया मैच कालिया और राजू के बीच ही होने दें.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
But he really had an amazing voice, and you guys should see the original Bheem and all. It's on Netflix or Pogo or other places, including Instagram. If you see Krishna, which Greengold made, I think his voice is still, the way he spoke, it was, I mean, acting-wise, flirting with Radha, in his own way. That was really outstanding. It's still, we get so many views, and it's a lot of things are pirated, but we're okay with that because
Yeah.
it's so amazing, those clips.
It builds your brands that you mentioned. Thank you so much, and thank you, Rajiv sir, for being with us.
Thank you.
And maybe again next year we keep doing this together. And any final words, sir? Closing note for the audience? Anything? Just maybe 1 minute.
I think I'll just like to say this to everyone, success is not easy. So you have to be, especially in this field, you have to be persistent. You have to be on it every day. And so please be persistent. Don't give up your dreams. Work hard. And of course, don't give up. And, it's all about partnerships and collaborations in today's world. Feel you should reach out, work with many people, as de-risk your whatever project. Don't take all the risks yourself. That's all I can say.
Wonderful life-learned business sessions. Thank you so much, sir. You can have the.
Give it up for Rajiv, sir, ladies and gentlemen. And sir, wonderful point that you mentioned. I'll request the team to get the memento for sir. And I think he mentioned a very, very interesting and nice point, which gives a perspective into his humanitarian side. He said that we're kind of fine to let go of certain things if it's actually helping. So kudos to him for that. Give it up ek baar unke liye for that particular point.